In the winter-swept streets of Edmonton, Alberta, where temperatures can plummet to bone-chilling depths, an extraordinary story of redemption unfolded at a small antique shop. This tale, centered around a rare Disney animation cell, a homeless man's keen eye, and a shop owner's unwavering moral compass, reminds us that the most valuable discoveries often come from seeing the worth in what and who others have discarded. Alexander Archbold's journey into the world of antiques began at the tender age of 9, when most children were still playing with toys rather than collecting them. By 2016, his lifelong passion culminated in founding Curiosity Incorporated, a unique establishment in Edmonton that dealt in both antiques and vintage motorcycles. The shop quickly became known not just for its eclectic inventory, but for Archbold's willingness to work with street vendors and scrappers, those who made their living finding treasure in others' trash. Adam Gillian wasn't always homeless. Originally from Stratford, Ontario, he had moved to Edmonton with dreams of building a life with his wife and 4 children. Working as a drywall laborer, Gillian embodied the everyday Canadian striving for a better future. But life, as it often does, had other plans. When he lost his job, the dominoes began to fall. Depression set in, bills mounted, and the unthinkable happened. 3 of his 4 children were placed in foster care because he could no longer provide for them. His marriage, strained by these hardships, eventually crumbled. For exactly 3 years, Edmonton's streets became Gillian's home. He joined the ranks of Canada's 235,000 annual homeless population, becoming one of the 75% who struggle with mental illness. On better nights, he found refuge on friends' couches or in 24-hour restaurants. On worse nights, he faced Edmonton's notorious winters head-on. In 2018, Gillian walked into Curiosity Incorporated carrying a plastic bag of his latest finds. Among them was a dusty framed print showing Bambi meeting his forest friends. Archbold, making a quick assessment, offered $20, thinking he might be able to upsell it for perhaps $100. It wasn't until later, upon closer inspection, that Archbold discovered something extraordinary, a certificate of authenticity from 1937 attached to the back of the frame. This wasn't just a reproduction. It was an original animation cell used in Disney's classic film. After consulting with several galleries that valued similar pieces at $3,500, Archbold listed the piece on eBay, where it ultimately sold for $3,700 Canadian dollars, or $2,780 US dollars. What followed was a remarkable 2-week search through Edmonton's streets. Archbold, who documented his journey on video, drove through back alleys, visited homeless shelters, and scoured downtown areas. "The problem is I don't know where to find him," he explained to his viewers, showing the genuine challenge of locating someone without an address or phone number in a city of nearly 1 million people. When Gillian finally returned to the shop, Archbold cleverly arranged a meeting at a local motel, using the pretense of wanting to interview him for his YouTube channel. There, he surprised Gillian with $700 in cash, though this was just the beginning of his assistance. As Archbold would later explain in a pinned comment on his video, Adam did get the entire value of the piece. We used the other half for food, clothes, and a ticket home. Archbold's extraordinary effort to help stemmed from his own intimate understanding of homelessness. "My mom worked 3 jobs for a while, and we didn't have a home," he revealed. "For much of junior high, we lived in motels." It was during these challenging times that he began selling antiques to help pay his family's bills, a necessity that eventually grew into his life's passion. The story might have ended with the profit sharing, but it didn't. Archbold launched a GoFundMe campaign that exceeded its $10,000 goal by almost $8,000. The funds provided Gillian with not just immediate necessities, but a chance to restart his life. Archbold went further, helping Gillian find job leads in Ontario and even packing him a sandwich for his journey home. "I go through people's basements looking for stuff they don't want anymore," Archbold reflected. "Adam's doing the same thing. He's recycling and finding stuff. He's a very kind, humble person, so I'm sure he'll have no trouble finding work. I'm rooting for him." This story resonates on multiple levels. It's about the value we place on things and people. It's about how easily any of us could find ourselves in Jillian's position and how a single act of kindness can cascade into life-changing opportunities. But perhaps most importantly, it's about recognizing dignity and worth in places others might overlook. In the antique business, value often lies hidden beneath layers of dust and neglect. Similarly, human potential can be obscured by circumstances and misfortune. Archbold, through his own experience with childhood poverty, understood this better than most. His response to finding the valuable animation cell wasn't just about sharing profits, it was about sharing opportunity. Today, Curiosity Incorporated continues to operate as more than just an antique and vintage motorcycle dealer. It stands as a testament to the power of ethical business practices and community responsibility. The story of the Disney cell serves as a reminder that sometimes the most valuable discoveries aren't the treasures we find, but the opportunities we create to help others find their way home. In a world increasingly divided by economic disparities, this tale from Edmonton shows how commerce, compassion, and community can intersect to create positive change. It reminds us that everyone deserves a second chance, and sometimes all it takes is one person willing to see the value in what and who others have cast aside.